Good morning, everybody. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm giving you a little plant's eye view first thing this morning. Cool, isn't it? I think it's cool. I think it's cool. At any rate, welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. And I have my coffee cup on the warmer, and there it is. So, drink it if you got it. And if you don't got it, go get it. Well, good to see everybody here. Happy Sunday morning. Happy Sunday morning. Wow, the chat's rolling. It says here I got 59 people watching already. Holy cow, Sunday morning. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Let me make sure I'm live elsewhere. Let's see. It looks like, yes, YouTube is live and over on Rumble. Let's see. I see people in the chat over there. And yes, I'm live on Rumble. Mike Seeley Sr. is the first one in. I see Ellen in the Rumble chat as Olivia E2. Rod Weeder's there. How you doing? And No Slow, good morning. Good morning to you. And I think it's Gary. I'm going to get that one. Let me know if I'm right or not. But I'll get there. United Carnivore, Mike Seeley from Tampa's there as well. Anyway, it's great to see all of you. Great to see all of you. Beautiful down here. I'm in a t-shirt and shorts. It was 72 degrees. 72 degrees this morning. And this, my friends, is why I live in Florida. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I got a few notes here. Let me see what I got, and then we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Remember, ask questions. Ask questions in the chat. QQQ, 3 capital Qs before the question. The way I've got it set up here, I think I can probably manage to get to all of them or find them. I might get a little harried at times, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So don't forget to do that. Yet again, drone hysteria everywhere. It just keeps getting wilder and wilder. And I gotta tell you, just stop taking it seriously. What I said the other day, I still believe is true. I've watched videos from so many other knowledgeable people in the drone community who pretty much all mirror exactly what I'm saying. And that is that 70, 80, maybe even 90% of all of these so-called drone sightings are airplanes. They're airplanes. They're jet airplanes going into all of the extremely busy New York airports. Nobody used to look at the sky at night. They were all inside the house watching television. Now everybody's out looking at the sky at night, and for the first time in their lives, they've noticed there are jet airplanes always flying over. There is a YouTube live channel now. What happened to it? Oh, I see. There's a YouTube. Come on. Where is it? Here it is. Hang on. Oh, yeah, there it is. YouTube live drone channel. And it shows the sky. I don't know if you, it's not showing up real well, but it shows a lot of reflections there. It shows the skyline. There it is. And they're watching for drones now. There were, at the time I was watching this, 7,000 people were sitting there watching this camera feed. And let me show you what they were watching. I think I pan up to it here. There is, maybe I did it in a separate video. Anyway, one little light went across the sky. One little light went across the sky. And I tried to zoom in on it. There it is, right there. See that little light? That flashing little light up there? You see it? That's an airplane on its way to Newark, New Jersey or something like that. And that's what these people are panicking over. And there's so many people. There are over 1 million registered consumer drones and commercial drones with the FAA right now, hobbyists mostly. These people in the drone community are having a ball with this. They're taking their drones out and flying them at night, especially up in New Jersey. They're punking everybody. And then an interesting, I don't want to talk too much about that, but there's an interesting take on this that I heard that, you know, sounds like a real conspiracy theory, but somehow every conspiracy theory we've had about everything the government has done has turned out to be true, especially with politics. The government has been working very, very, very hard to get drones out of the sky, to make way for all of these big companies that want to do drone delivery. This has been a political push. It caused the FAA to get involved. The FAA has done licensing, made all kinds of new rules. And then there are people who think that the largest manufacturers of drones in the world, the Chinese, are spying on us with these drones, and they keep trying to ban them. And the biggest manufacturer is a company called DJI. They make drones so far superior to any of the other companies. They have been trying in Congress to pass a ban on the import of DJI drones into this country. Rick Scott himself in Florida was one of the Senate sponsors of this bill. It has been brought up and has not passed yet. And they just went through a whole nother round to try to ban the DJI drones. And of course, that's the big furor in the drone community, is what's going to happen when we can't buy drones anymore. Well, I think the people that want the skies clear, and they're mostly commercial interests, I really believe they are doing what's called a false flag. They are trying to make us think that we are somehow in danger from all of this drone activity by hyping it, publicizing it. You notice the government hasn't made any official remarks except for that one senator who thinks it's an Iranian drone, an Iranian mothership, which is absurd. And it's becoming kind of obvious to most of us that are in the drone community that if they can get the public riled up enough and scared enough, because the vote is very close right now on whether to ban these drones from import, even though they're not spying, they've been audited. When people want something, they make it happen, and a narrative develops. And the narrative right now is all of this drone stuff and all of this hype and all of these YouTubers running for clicks and all of these media outlets running for viewers. trying to create another emergency that's going to require immediate government action so that the citizens who are scared to death will begin putting pressure on the politicians and get this ban passed. To me, I'm almost certain that's what's happening. Stop worrying about it. I'm getting emails from people telling me they're afraid that they're looking for nuclear weapons in their neighborhood. This is exactly, I think, what's trying to happen. Now, I may be wrong. I always admit that I may be wrong, and what I have is an opinion. At any rate, enough drones already. God, I'm so tired of seeing it. I am deleting any channel on my YouTube feed that even posts a story trying to create fear about these frigging drones. It's nuts. It's nuts. In other news this morning, Mark Whistler sent me some coffee cups, and they, of course, got delayed in the post office. I guess Christmas rush is a great excuse for the post office these days, but we're still a week and a half away from Christmas. Now I think is when people are trying to get their packages mailed. Whatever. I actually went to the post office and it wasn't there. Because the last time they didn't tell me it was there. So this time I thought, early this morning I was up before I started setting up for this stream. I went over to the post office at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was the only car on the road, and no cups. Saw the news this morning. So Mark, hopefully it'll be here tomorrow. Mark sent me an email with a tracking number as well. I saw on the news this morning one last little thing that I thought was interesting. They were talking about, the headline was, this was the headline. This was the attention grabber. Obesity rates have dropped in this country for the first time ever. Think about that. Obesity rates. And then they came on with the story. Many contribute the new weight loss drugs to this drop in the obesity rate in this country. I said, well, that makes sense. Obesity drug use has risen 700% since 2019. I said, wow, this must be some drop in the obesity rate with 7 times as many people taking obesity drugs. And then she says, wow, the drop in obesity rate has only been 0.4%. We're really hopeful about this. I almost threw my cell phone at the TV when I heard that. So let me get this straight. 7 times as many people are taking Ozempic, Wegovy, and all these obesity drugs, risking, serious health consequences. 0.4% of the population is less obese than it used to be. How much less obese? 6 ounces? A pound? Come back and check those same people in a year. They will be more obese, more than likely. This is such bullshit, my friends. We're being gaslit about everything everywhere. It gets so you just can't believe anything you hear anywhere except here. You can believe me. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Anyway, sun is in my eyes. It's a beautiful morning down here in Florida. It's time for me to start saying hi to some of the early birds, and then we'll get into the questions. The chats are going crazy. 111 people here. 21 people over in Rumble, even though a lot of you are the same person. And as you saw before, I redid my whole studio in here. I now have a big-ass monitor, which I was hardly using in the house at all. It's a gaming monitor that I got free when I bought a notebook a few years ago. And I finally found a use for it. I'm going to use it out here, and I can actually read this with no problem. It's wonderful. Takes me another 2 minutes to set this whole thing up in the morning. And I even put that camera behind me because I had the thing, and I figured, why not? Why not? This is kind of a fun shot. I also set it up so I could show you what I have on my different screens, like I can do in the house. So I'm beginning to get the capabilities here of my indoor studio because I have much more fun outside. I really like it out here. So just trying to make it more interesting, a little more visual, other than just a talking head. I hope it means something to at least a few of you. I see Ellen's in the chat there. Hi, Ellen. How you doing? Must still be preoccupied with the dog sitting. So she's not going to be here today, so I'm going to have to do this myself. Well, here we go. Stickman's Garage was in here at 9:18 p.m. Papa Carnivore. Greg Smith came in last night. These are all the people that chimed in yesterday. Turamir chimed in. Lady June at almost midnight. Lucy Auerbach. Holy cow, 1:11 p.m. She enjoyed my show yesterday. That's great. I did 2 of them yesterday. We had that afternoon thing, which worked, which was fun. We really had a good time. We had a screen full of people chatting. We had Carnivore Candy in here, Kandi, and we met her for the first time. She's got a YouTube channel. We had a good time and a great discussion. And I think we even may have talked about carnivore a little bit. Mike Seeley's here. Here we go. People that actually slept. Wanda Gerling. It's 4:30 in the morning, but at least it's not 2 in the morning. She's saying hi to everybody. Cliff Medina. Don't panic about the drones, Cliff. Drones over Jersey here. We're being gaslit, my friend. Couch Potato. Wayne Herman, how you doing? Mike Seeley Sr., good morning to you. Jeff Streslak from Goose Creek, South Carolina. And I'm not going to bother reading all the temperatures because it's cold, it seems, everywhere but here and Point South. Francine, good morning. Francine Bourgeois. Of course, it's cold in Montreal. Gina Cav is here. Lori, how you doing, Lori? Good Sunday morning to everybody. Sandy Blythe is here. And, of course, Richard Williams. Williams, good morning from Copper Hill, Tennessee. Len Gerber is also in the land of warm down in Deerfield Beach, Florida. Patty Molden is here. Hiya, Patty. And this is not a question. Or are you asking, is it really a good morning, Mitch and Ellen? Terry Sue's here. How you doing, Terry Sue? Good to see you. Ricky Lee, good morning, carnivores. John Logan asked the question. John says, Mitch, what are your thoughts on bulletproof coffee with virgin coconut oil for hacking fat burning? Well, I'm trying to think if I have ever even drank a single cup of bulletproof coffee. I don't know. No, I haven't. I have not ever put butter, MCT oil, heavy cream, or anything in my coffee. My philosophy about coffee has always been, why would anybody want to screw up a perfectly good cup of black coffee? Now, I know that I might be in the minority, but that's just how I feel about coffee. I actually love the flavor of black coffee. Is there any benefit to it? Is there any health benefit to it? Will it really accelerate fat burning? Well, I don't know if anybody can really tell us that for sure. I don't know if I don't believe there's ever been an actual controlled study done where they took 2 groups of people that were so very, very similar, and they let one of them drink the bulletproof coffee and one of them not. It was invented, I believe, by a guy named Dave Asprey, and Dave Asprey's a little wild in some of the things. I put him out there with Huberman and trying to manage virtually everything. And I go exactly the other way. I say manage as little as you can. Let your physiology and your body do its thing. You have one, well, maybe 1.5 things to be concerned about. And you've heard this from me. Make sure you get all of the nutrition you need, and that comes from this lifestyle. And supplement with a few things that you think may be missing from the food that our ancestors ate because of our modern methods of farming and everything else. So for me to try to hack, and that's the operative word here, hack, any of my physiological processes, I won't. I won't interfere. I won't try to make them do something that they weren't doing in my cavemen ancestors. I won't try to outsmart them ever. Are there hacks that might in some way improve things? Most likely. Will those same hacks have side effects and maybe unintended consequences? More than likely. Leave it alone, I say. Leave it alone, I say. If you're interested, I was interested in the fact, John, that you said coconut oil, because that might add a tiny little bit of coconut flavor to your coffee, and that may be what you're looking for. But if I was going to do anything, I would not use coconut oil. I would not use anything derived from any plant just because that's the way I live. I would use an animal fat. I would use either butter, ghee, or heavy whipping cream. But that's my opinion. Those are my thoughts on Bulletproof coffee and why I don't do it. And that's the only thing I can share with you. And there's going to be probably more people on the other side of that opinion, because those people are making YouTube videos and getting clicks and maybe selling special super duper extra turbo virgin olive oil on their YouTube channels that they tell you will work better than any of the regular virgin olive oil that you might buy. I don't know. It's getting harder and harder to convince me that doing anything that interferes with our normal programming and physiology is a good idea, other than feeding it correctly. Mark Whistler, how you doing? Got the brisket on. Yes, 12 hours. Oh, man, invite me over, will you? Charger Mopar, hi, Rick. Enjoyed seeing you again yesterday afternoon. That was, we had some fun. Marla Kelly, how you doing? And Ellen is here. Hi, Ellen. 10 days till Christmas, boy. I'm like Scrooge. I'm telling you, I'm like Scrooge. With me, it's like, let's get it over with already and settle back down to normal. But have a good time, everybody. Enjoy Christmas. Enjoy the family. Enjoy the presents. Enjoy the giving. Enjoy the receiving. Just don't enjoy the friggin' food. CB Carmack, how you doing, CB? Good to see you. Smoothie is here, and we are up to 8:23, and I'm going to go until I get to 8:30, and then I'm going to start skimming for questions. Mitch is like Scrooge, so I like to tease him, Ellen says. I have a window. I'm going to show you how I'm doing this so you know what I'm doing. This chat over here, right here where I'm pointing to, when I click on one of the entries, it comes up on the screen. See how that came up when I click it? This chat over here is coming from the YouTube feed, and it's running real time. So I can see all the latest entries as they go by, and I can kind of scan. Like Gary Williams down here just recently said, are those drones manned or unknown? I may not answer the questions, but I will know that there are questions there. But in order to show you guys your names on the screen, I like to use this chat over here. So that's how I've got it set up, and that's what I'm doing. Thought maybe you'd find that interesting, or maybe you would you would think that I'm working really hard at this. I'm working really hard at this. And speaking of working really hard, I don't know if Ellen's done this or not yet, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to put a link in the chat. Let me paste it over here, right there, and my Buy Me a Coffee. If you like what I do and you're entertained every morning here and we're answering some of your questions and you feel like you're a part of this community and want to really say thank you to me, use this link, Buy Me a Coffee. I appreciate it. I appreciate the thought, and it really helps me out. Believe it or not, I do spend a lot of money. You can see the lengths I go to try to produce these things and make my videos good. That all costs money, guys. And I certainly appreciate it. So that's enough of a shameless plug, other than you can use my Amazon links if you're shopping on Amazon. I'm not pushing a lot of Amazon products. I'm not making dedicated videos like most everybody else is to try to capitalize on the holiday season and all the shopping. But if you're interested in the gadgets that you see me use in my videos, or you just want to help me out and you're going shopping on Amazon anyway, go in through one of my links, and that helps me out. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So where was I? Gary Hall. We're still not at 8:30 yet. Holy cow. Good to see you. Edward Renner is here. Everybody was pouring in this morning. And if I overdo it a little bit on this, I got nowhere to go. We'll go over time a little. No big deal. Nikki W's here. How you doing? How you doing? Graceful Lily. Good to see you. And Ellen is all over the chat. I'm happy to see that. Where's Peter this morning? I thought I saw him chime in. Aaron is here. Booby Goats. And Tina Schweikerath. Hiya, Tina. How you doing? Always good to see you. David Kane. And we are at 8:30. Ring the bell. We finally went live. And da-da-da. Always a fanfare. Steve Rogers, Captain America. Good morning to you, my friend. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. Steve is one of the braver men that I met. Steve actually rode in the backseat of my car for over 3 hours, or about 3 hours, with me driving. And I got to tell you, that was coming back to Melbourne from Tampa at the meetup we had over there, and he had to catch a flight out of Melbourne Airport, and I taxied him there, and he'll tell you, I am not a shrinking violet behind the wheel, guys. Not a typical old fart driver. I am on a mission to get where I'm going. Get out of my way. I mean, I don't get obnoxious about it, but I'm not one of these people that sits in the center lane going 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. Absolutely not. Michael Prager, good morning to you, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Karen Travis is here. Hi, Karen. Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Already had my coffee. It's fabulous. I'm having mine, and it's hot. Thanks to Francine Bourgeois. Thank you, Francine. And looking for somebody new here, and I'm looking for questions. Don Schonger says, hello. How you doing, Don? Good to see you. Okay, everybody's saying hi to everybody. It's 7:30. Tom from Tampa's here, Viking 442. And we have Cabby from Jacksonville. How you doing, Cabby? Good to see you. I don't recognize that name. And Jeff Streslak, can you hear me now? Yes, I would figure that if I had forgotten that mic, which I will never do again, forgotten to unmute it, you would have been telling me that long before now. Let's see. Mama Bear's here. Hiya, Mama Bear. How you doing this morning? Good to see you. Okay, I'm looking for questions. Questions. Or somebody I haven't said hi to yet. And I'm going to do this for another minute or two, then I'm going to start scanning real fast. If I miss anybody that I didn't say hi to, sorry. Here's somebody named G. Hiya, G. How you doing? Good to see you. And Deborah Miller is here. Good morning, Deborah. From Bend, Oregon. William McCartney chimed in. Hiya, William. How you doing? Well, I'm almost up to 842 in the chat, so James Ballou is here. Good to see you. Okay, looking for questions. What's this? Graceful Lily. Talking to Lori. It's been over a month now, hasn't it? That postal strike started over a month ago, right after I mailed my Christmas. Really? I didn't. It's the first I've heard of a postal strike. They don't talk about that evidently on my news down here. They only talk about drones now. And James Billow, 0.4%. Yes, a drastic improvement in the obesity of Americans. We're taking trillions of dollars worth of Ozempic a year for a fraction of 1% reduction, which we know is not permanent anyway, because none of those things actually achieve permanent weight loss, because none of them cure addictions. Sorry, my friends. It's a scam, and a dangerous one. Dangerous one at that. I don't know if I said hi to Danny in Boston, but how you doing? Good to see you. No Slow says, yeah, I hear you, Mitch, the lies. It's all lies. Just look at the last election. Look at the crap that these people were, the lies they were just spewing as if they were truth on TV. They're finally being held to account for some of this stuff, but it just, everywhere you turn, in everything, there's always some agenda behind the narrative trying to rile people up so they will call different groups into action, make a lot of noise, and politicians, in the fear of losing votes, will do things that even they know might be stupid. Gary Williams, how you doing? Good to see you. And Rhonda's here. No, not Rhonda. Marcia. God, I get the two of you so confused. Marcia, Chessie's Adventures, good to see you. I keep doing that. Sorry. But I remember. How you doing, Marcia? Good to see you. Now, Shook's going to tell me my name's Rhonda, and I'm going to really be embarrassed. But I think it's Marcia. Polish Mike, good morning from New York. How you doing? And Tanya is here. I'm skinny fat, she says. How you doing, Tanya? Good to see you this morning. Rain Dancer, I appreciate your explanation. I'm very disappointed in the media and our leaders. Our leaders seem to be pretty much except for this, what's his name, Drew something, the senator that was a Democrat and became, in New Jersey, and became a Republican, who is saying things like, it's an Iranian mothership. It's an Iranian mothership. And somebody has bought me a coffee. Jerry Voitush bought me 5 coffee. Jerry, you're very generous, my friend. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And he said, I head out on my Christmas New Year's cruise Friday. Oh, sorry to hear that, man. So I probably won't be in touch until next year. Wishing you the best. Thank you for all you do. Jerry, thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Louis L., good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, and still looking for questions. Here we go. I see some cues. Jaime Velasquez. How you doing, Jaime? Question. Hi, Mitch. How many times can I reuse the animal fat? I use it one time and throw it away. Can I use it more times? I think it depends on what you're cooking in it, number one. Number two, whether you have heated it past its smoke point. And that, I think, is the worst thing you can do to any fats. When you heat them past their smoke points, it changes them chemically. There are those that say certain carcinogens develop. Now, just cooking bacon in a frying pan, you may see what steam you think is steam, but you're not burning the fat. You can tell the fat is burning when it darkens really dark. Whenever I fry something, deep fry something like my salmon cakes in fat, I always throw it away. It's cheap anyway. I myself only save bacon grease, and I only cook with it once, and I throw it away because I just got so much of it. I say, why should I use something that may have been spoiled when I can use fresh grease? I owned a restaurant, and reusing the cooking oils in the deep fryers was always something that we had to deal with because it was very, very expensive. I had 80-pound fryers that took like 15 gallons of oil to fill up. And that stuff was expensive. Not to mention the mess and the chore of draining the oil, disposing of the oil, cleaning them, refilling them. We changed the oil in our fryers every 2 or 3 days because you could see. But those fryers were temperature controlled very accurately. So that oil was never overheated in those fryers like it might be in a frying pan. It's easy to get a frying pan too hot. So I would say you can use, because we used it, and these were, unfortunately, back in those days, these were seed oils. But since animal fats are much, much more resilient than these seed oils, they don't oxidize nearly as fast, if at all. I would say you can reuse it if it looks good and it's not burnt and you didn't overheat it. If you want to, you might get one of those things like I have on my Amazon link, one of those stainless steel grease catchers that filters out all the crap that I use for my bacon grease. It's on my website. And just pour the oil back through that filter, which will take any particulate stuff out of it. But yeah, I think you could do that. But I don't know if I'd use it any more than 2 or 3 times. That's my opinion. Good question. Good question. And let's go down here and see who's next. Who is this? There's no slow. Oh, I didn't read it. The sun is bright on the monitor here. It's getting a little hard to read. Oh, Ellen is dogs. Here is another question from Peter. Peter's here. How you doing, Peter? Peter, is this another question that I know the answer to already and you know the answer to already? Mitch, will you ever be satisfied with your indoor and outdoor computer setup, or will you continue to gradually improve upon it? Well, the answer is a qualified maybe. My indoor studio is pretty well set. Yeah, I've got the green screen. I've got everything set up. I've got cameras where I want them. I don't move them. I don't change anything. The only thing I take out of my indoor studio is the mixer. And that I can just unplug. You know, I unplug it every night. I just need to, there's 3 wires sitting on my desktop and where the mixer sits, and I just need to plug those 3 wires in, and I'm in business. And as you can see, That's this mixer here. So that's the only thing that I share between the two studios. So it's no big deal. But the one outside here, I keep trying to give it a little more capability so I can make it a little more interesting. And I thought, since I had that second webcam, why not just stick it behind me, call it a plant camera. And if you look right there, you can see the wire. It's up above. It's on a little tripod, but you can see the tripod and the wire right there. It's going to that camera behind the plant. And I like, yeah, I'm a gadget freak. I like stuff like that. Another question from Mark C. Hey, Mark C., how you doing? Good to see you. Mark says, I'm cutting out salt from my diet to lower my blood pressure. Are there negative systems I should watch for? Blood test results show sodium in normal range. Been carnivore 17 months. Mark, that is in my opinion, my friend, not being a doctor, that is a myth. Salt has got nothing to do with your blood pressure. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. That has been proven so many times already. You may be doing yourself more harm than good. You need salt. It's an electrolyte, one of the most important electrolytes that we have. Some of the worst advice doctors ever give any patients is to put them on a low sodium diet. It is bullshit in my concern. I eat tons of salt. My blood pressure is 115/65. My blood pressure was through the roof. If you've been carnivore, Mark, 17 months, I don't know. I don't understand why you might have high blood pressure or what you even consider high blood pressure to be. That's another area where we're being gaslit all the time. They keep telling us we need to make it lower and lower and lower. That is not true. They've got people, blood pressures of like 140/85, panicking. Maybe you're not taking your blood pressure properly. Your doctor certainly isn't. When you go to a doctor's office, none of those blood pressures that they take mean anything. They're taken improperly. Ken Berry's got many videos about that. I take my blood pressure first thing when I get up, before I have any coffee, before I even move around a lot. I go right in my office. I sit down at my desk. I sit there for 10 minutes in the appropriate position. I put my arms up to my chest height on the desk. I take it with a blood pressure meter that measures my blood pressure 3 times and then gives me the average reading. And the average of the last 300 readings that I've taken on that machine is 115/65. But if I were to go in my office right now, as excited as I am here doing this live stream, my blood pressure would probably 135, 145/80 or 85. That's not what my blood pressure is. Because when you're active, when you're moving, when you're stressed, when you're working, your blood pressure goes up for a reason, because you need additional blood flow. There's so much misconceptions about blood pressure, and I hope you don't, unless you've got screaming high hypertension, then you may have a medical condition that's causing that, but it's not too much salt. And most people's sodium levels in their blood are going to be in the normal range because it's one of the most highly regulated numbers in all of human physiology. And excess salt, you just piss it out. You just piss it out. So without knowing a ton more about you, Mark, and you know I love you. You've been around here a long time. You've been great to this channel, and I don't want to see you hurting yourself. Email me at OldGuyCarnivore.com if there's anything you think I should know to change my opinion. But in a normal, healthy human being, salt things to taste. Your body tells you how much salt you need. Don't hack it. Don't manipulate it. And I think it would be much less enjoyable to be a carnivore without being able to salt everything, and we need the salt. So I hope that answers that question for you. I think I've forgotten something very, very important on this gorgeous morning, my friends. So, and of course the music just ended. but it'll start. There it goes. Excuse me while I light this cigar. Yes, it worked. Hallelujah. And all of my favorite things. Good coffee, which still hot, a good cigar, and all my friends here with me. 143 of you, all over the world. That's so gratifying, so gratifying. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. All right, I'm still going. What time am I in the chat? 8:48, only a half an hour behind over here, so I need to fly through this. I can't read everything when I go this fast, but I read these things during the replay. Just so you know, when you tell me something, I end up seeing it, or I still might miss it. Gary Williams asks me, are those drones manned or unmanned? The drones are unmanned because all the drones are tiny. These drones they're claiming are the size of cars, are airplanes. They only come out at night, okay? They only come out at night because that's when people wouldn't see them in the day. Drones are tiny, but at night, they all by law, have to have navigation lights. Some stupid woman in the House of Representatives was on TV yesterday telling people, well, they can't be drones because it's illegal to fly drones at night. It's not illegal. Again, these people are ignorant. They don't know anything. Anybody can fly a drone at night. You just have to follow the law of what kind of lights they need to have on them. They need to have lights that are visible for 3 miles. They need to have red lights and green lights marking the port and starboard side of the drone. They need to have a strobe light which flashes. And all of these drones, virtually every single one of them that these people keep seeing, are flying legally. They're people who are playing with their drones, or they're the government testing some new technologies. The rest of the shit people are seeing are airplanes because they just finally looked up at the night sky for the first time in their lives and see all these blinking lights. And what a coincidence that it's up in northern Jersey, where the heaviest air traffic corridor on the planet Earth. You're lucky if you can look up at the sky at night in northern Jersey and not see a sky full of blinking lights. It's absurd. It is stupid, and they're going to get away with it, and they're going to ban drones, and that would be a shame. It's a great, great hobby, and yes, a few people do abuse them like everything else. There are people on this planet that abuse baseball bats, for God's sakes. They beat people to death with them. That doesn't mean we need to eliminate baseball. I don't know what pisses me off more. I know what pisses me off more. Stupid people that don't have the ability for critical or common sense thinking. Gullible people. Easily panicked people. Does anybody remember the pandemic we just went through and what it did to our life for years? Only to find out that we were being gaslit tremendously the whole way. Will we ever learn? Somehow I don't think. Harry Diane, how you doing? Good to see you. Less Junk, More Health is here. And any more questions? Oh, you know I get passionate about some of this stuff. Questions. Here we go. What is this? Another question from Papa Carnivore. Peter, don't you know anything? What are your thoughts on doctors advising their patients to cut way back or eliminate or reduce their... I just said that. I just answered that question, Peter. Talking about salt. Oh, I'll drink to that, Steve. I'll drink to that. That's just great. Steve says riding with Mitch is like being in a hostage situation. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't think Steve wanted to jump out of a moving car on the interstate. Oh, come on, Steve. It wasn't that bad. I know you're just busting on me. Or was it? Only Steve knows for sure. That's funny. That's funny, man. I don't care who you are. That there's funny, my friends. Glad is here and late. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Aaron says, my vegetarian sometimes daughter wants me to smoke a brisket for Christmas dinner. Wow. My husband insisted on a salty country ham. I say both and a cheese tray. I agree. I agree. And just tell me where and what time, because it sounds delicious. Sounds great. Questions, questions, questions. I'm looking, folks. I'm looking, but I'm having fun. Here we go. Here we go. Ellen asks a question. Quicker Ticker asks, any concern eating too much bacon with the nitrates? You know, that's a great question, and the nitrates have long been used to scare people. There were things about nitrates I wasn't really aware of, and basically, and I learned this from Ken Berry, and I always try to attribute facts that I didn't discover myself through my own research, but heard from another influencer. And I always try to give these guys credit because evidently Ken did the research and some other people. We have nitrates in our saliva. I didn't know that. Not only do we have nitrates in our saliva, but the concentration of nitrates in our saliva, and don't quote me wrong, but I think I got the right number here, is 2,000 times greater than that in bacon. So while we're busy being scared about how dangerous nitrates are for us, there are 2,000 times as much nitrate in our saliva as in the bacon we're eating. Second thing I found out about nitrates is that nitrogen dioxide, NO2, is something that is very healthy for us. And guess what you need for your body to make NO2? You need nitrates. Turns out the nitrates in bacon, from what I've heard, and in my opinion, after looking into it a little more, are one of the healthy parts of eating bacon. It's just another thing that's good for us and not harmful. And it makes them taste great, too. Same thing with processed meats where they use nitrates. Don't be afraid of the nitrates. If nitrates were going to kill somebody, they would have killed me long ago. Do you know how many hundreds of pounds of bacon I've eaten in the past 2.5 years? 1/2 pound a day? How many days in 2.5 years? 1,000? Yeah, right about 1,000. 365, and half of that comes around 1,000, 900 to 1,000. I've eaten 500 pounds of bacon in the past 2.5 years. Do I run around with nitrates coming out of my ears? No, I'm healthier than I've ever been. Consider me a human laboratory. So, Ellen, I think you really knew the answer. You might have been asking for somebody else, but no, I would not be concerned with nitrates whatsoever. Whatsoever. Questions. I'm up to 9 o'clock in the chat. I've caught up a little bit, but not too much. Looking for the questions here. And this big monitor really helps because I can really, don't have to lean forward to read it. Questions, don't see any questions. Here's one. Here's a question. Scooby says, yes, I was posting for someone who didn't use the QQQ. Okay, Ellen, I figured you probably all already knew that. You're a very sharp biochemist type person. Oh, CB Carm, what happened to Mark Davis? Jesse Oates, an old lady, Kathy. Well, she's still around. Kathy is Pond Apple. She's been in here. Went missing right after Biden dropped out. Well, Kathy was Kathy told us she was voting for Biden, but I don't hold that against anybody. Mark Davis got pissed off at me one night. He got pissed off at me on a live stream and chastised me because I thought someone was a troll, and I'm convinced now that she really was a troll. And I might not have been as nice to her. And then she came back and played like she was just some poor old lady looking for information. She told me that I was deluding myself in a comment. You're deluding yourself if you think that... And when somebody tells me I'm deluding myself, if somebody told you you're deluding yourself, what would you consider that? Would you consider that a compliment or an insult? Would you consider that the fact that they're saying you're delusional, that everything you believe is imaginary? That's how I took it, and I didn't react kindly. And I don't react kindly. I usually tell people, go to hell, or F-O. Well, Mark came back in and chastised me, and he said, you shouldn't have treated her like that. That was very rude, and that was the end of Mark Davis. And Mark and I had become friendly, and he was very, very good to this channel, overly good. I always wondered what his motives might be. But we talked on the phone, and he was a nice guy, I had no problem with Mark Davis. I was a little embarrassed by the amount of money in some of those super chats, but what am I supposed to do about that? What am I supposed to do about it? He sent me stuff from Amazon, shirts and things like that. What am I supposed to do? Say, stop, Mark? I liked the guy, but I was a little fearful. What happens if I spurn him? Does he react badly? Do I have a stalker now? I never knew how to handle it, so I just let him do what he wanted to do. And when he came in on that thing, I said to him, Mark, and I tried to apologize to the woman. I tried to say to her, I thought you were a troll. Maybe I misunderstood the point you were trying to make. And she asked questions. And after that live stream, I never saw her again, or Mark either. Maybe that was Mark's cousin. I don't know. I have no idea what happened. But there went Mark Davis. I will always appreciate everything Mark Davis did for me. I still imagine he's probably watching, but doesn't say anything. I have nothing against him. And I can only thank him for all the help and the good things he did for me and my efforts in this channel. And that's the Mark Davis story. I haven't told that yet, but now that you asked, CB, that's the answer. And Kathy, she's still around, and Chelsea Oates, I don't know. I haven't seen her in a while. But people come and go. They come and go from the private community. And I come and go on other people's channels too. It's just the normal course of things. Can't try to figure it all out. I see Mark C. bought 5 Old Guy Carnivore memberships. Thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate it. I see that. Here's how, just to show you again, that's why I have this camera set up, just to show you. You see that big green bar over there on that chat? That's what a super chat or anything like gifting memberships shows up. I can't miss those things. That's why when you're on a very hugely busy, like Anthony Chafee live stream or Ken Berry live stream, that chat just rolls by. Thousands of people are watching. The only way to get their attention is with a super chat, because it shows up in a big, colorful box, just like that green thing right over there. See it? And that's how you notice it. That's how they know. And that's the only way. So let me tell you who was gifted a membership here, because I can see it. Joseph Story was gifted a membership. Cloud 7 gifted a membership. Beautiful day. Hey, I know her. Good to see you. You're in the private community for a month. And they're in green again. God, that one's hard to read. Sean Shively and Logan Obenshane got gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Mark, and I can put that up on the screen when I get back, when I get to it in the chat that I'm going down. But it is 9:30 already, and I am still 20 minutes behind. So let me scroll through real quick here, just looking for more questions. Here's a comment about from CB. Mark C. Dr. Hammond talks about hypertension. In a video, he says salt is a necessity and sugar is the guilty one. Wow, if you're eating carnivore, Mark, for 17 years, sugar should not be an issue, but I don't know exactly what your diet's made up of, or maybe there's some other cause of hypertension, but I don't think it's sugar. I don't think it's sugar. I'm looking for QQQs in here. I'm going through them real fast. Ha! No sauce busting on me. Mitch, calm down. Too much salt raises your blood pressure. No, I eat plenty of salt. My blood pressure is just fine. Just fine. I will not let a doctor take my blood pressure in their office anymore. It just triggers them like my high cholesterol. Okay, a question from Graceful Lily says, have you heard of a blood condition, thick, sticky blood? I have that extremely rare blood condition. I know nothing about that, Graceful Lily. I think I've heard it mentioned that your blood thickens. I don't know why. Outside of science fiction movies, I have not seen or know anybody that has that. Do you have to take Coumadin or another blood thinner for that condition? I don't know. No, I don't know anything about it. And when I don't know anything about something, I don't try to act like I do. I will always tell you, I'm sorry, I don't know. I may know a lot, but nobody knows everything. Not even the doctors know about half of this stuff. Well, I know more than some doctors about most of it, and that's what's really scary. That's really scary. CB's got me nailed down, Pat. But I don't ever bust the speed limit by any more than 8 or 9, CB. I'd stay out of trouble that way. Mitch still needs his pilot's rush by driving like a bat out of hell. No, I'm really not that. I'm really a great driver. That's the pilot in me. I just have fast reflexes. I scan constantly. I have tremendous situational awareness when I'm driving, and I know what I'm doing. Unlike everyone else on the road that's in my way. Same thing when I'm driving a shopping cart through the supermarket. I move it 3 times the speed of humanity, I say. Hey, Mama Cracker's here. How you doing? Good morning. Mama Cracker, 9:22 a.m. chimed in. Questions. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Here we go. Jerry Voituch, question, when is the next meetup cigar lounge session? It's going to be after the first of the year, after you're back from your cruise, Jerry. We wouldn't do it. We wouldn't do it without you. Ellen says Mark Davis still comes around. I haven't seen him in a long time. I haven't seen him. I certainly haven't gotten any super chats or anything from him. It's just as well. But he's always welcome. Always welcome. And Ellen, if you see him at any of these things, bring it to my attention, will you? I don't want him to think I'm ignoring him. I just don't get a chance to see so much of what goes by in the chat. Polish Mike says it's not a political channel. Why would anyone stop following Mitch? Because they voted. Well, people are like that. People have divorced some of their family members because they voted differently. People are leaving the country because they voted differently. It's crazy what people will do. People lost friends because of the way they voted. It's crazy. It's so divisive. And the more divisive that they keep us, the easier it is to get us to sway us with some emotional issue to vote for them. Here's the thing that I saw before, so I'm catching up. I'm at 9:28. I am less than 10 minutes behind. And Boyd Lamb, hit and run. How you doing, Boyd? Good to see you this morning. Good to see you. Questions? Any more questions? I think we're going to make it. Hey, Jonathan's here. Hiya, Jonathan. Good to see you, my friend. Bags Packed family. Up in Alaska, 5:30 a.m. and time for a coffee with Mitch. Yeah, you're almost late there, my friend. It's 9:31. You missed it by an hour. We're going to have to get you up at 4:30 in the morning. But Jonathan and I have a great Wednesday night video chat every Wednesday night. And I enjoy the hell out of them, Jonathan. Look forward to it every week, Wednesday night. Anyway, good to see you here. Good to see you here. I hope everything is great up there in Alaska. I imagine it's getting a little chilly. Any more last-minute questions here? Oh, Jonathan, you hope to get a drone soon. Why? So you can fly it around in Alaska and scare people? Oh, Steve, you're busting on me again. I picture Mitch pushing little old ladies out of his way to get to the... No. I am a true gentleman. I might rush... And there was one time, and I actually told about it the day after it happened. I said that this little old lady was racing me to the markdown meat one morning, and she was younger than me, but she was still not a spring chicken. And she was kind of spry, but she couldn't keep, I beat her out, and I got to the markdown meat first. And I had a funny feeling that she was headed for the markdown meat, because there's no other reason anybody sprints out of the gate at Sam's Club when they first open the doors. And she was hanging right up there with me, right up at the door when it opened, and she rushed in, and she didn't even grab a shopping cart. She just went for it, and I grabbed a shopping cart, and I caught up to her, and I passed her, and I got to the markdown meat, and she got to the markdown meat, and I got a package of markdown meat in my hand, and she's looking, and there wasn't very much, and I said to her, why don't you pick what you want first? Honestly, I did. I don't steal candy from babies either. But it's a funny thought, isn't it, to see me, Mitch, and a little skinny old lady racing for the markdown meat. And if I remember correctly, I don't think she bought any of it anyway. So here's somebody I don't know, and I'm here. I'm thinking of leaving Canada for the U.S. because of how most of you voted. Curry. How do you pronounce that? Curry, is it Deletes or Desleets? Interesting name. Here's a question from Rhonda, free text to that. That's the Rhonda I keep confusing with Chessie's Adventures. Rhonda, it's hard for me to join the members-only chats. It is better for you to have memberships. Is it better for you to have memberships or buy you a coffee? Well, they're both good for me. It's what's better for you. If you don't feel like joining the chats, yeah, buying me a coffee is better for me. Google doesn't take a 30% cut out of it. But on the other hand, if you want to get noticed, absolutely get noticed with a question, a super chat is always the best way. It could even be $1 or $2, 99 cents. It doesn't have to be a lot of money, but as long as it's some money, it lights up big and colorful on my feeds. And I'll see it. But yeah, the coffees, I do that because they only take like 5% as an administrative fee, whereas Google takes 30%. So yes. The coffees, I started that because it has nothing to do with Google. It's totally outside of that infrastructure. And Google doesn't know about it. Good question. No Slow says that I won that race fair and square. Yeah. I mean, there's certainly a lot of people certainly a lot of people, and I've convinced Steve Rogers that I'm a true gentleman. Yes, yes. No, I am. I try to be. Why not? Why wouldn't you be? And how are we in time? 9:39. I am almost to the end of the chat. I am. I made it. I made it. I made it. Yes. All the questions. I don't think I missed any. Turamir's still here. How you doing? I've been listening. He says, Terry Sue, mosquitoes keep me from not wanting to live in the South. I don't have a mosquito problem, tell you the truth. We don't have one here. They spray very frequently. Let me take a look and see if anybody else bought me a coffee. Captain America, Steve Rogers, after busting on me, says, I learn something new every day I watch you. Bought me a coffee. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm probably, well, I may even take the day off, you know, and not release a video today. I may release a short one. I don't know. But I will be back here tomorrow morning. I'll be back here tomorrow morning. Looking at the last chats. So, my friends, it's been fun. It's been a good Sunday morning. Look at the attendance. 150, 160 people were here. Wow, wow, wow. And let me make sure real quick I didn't miss any comments over in Rumble. Boyd Lamb's over in Rumble. Ellen's chatting up a storm over in Rumble. Super. Super. Still got 19 people watching in Rumble? Holy cow. Maybe there's hope for that. Welcome, Rumblers. Good to see you. If you're not on the YouTube channel, welcome. Good to see you over there. Good to see you over there. Marla Kelly, what is the means of payment with the Buy Me a Coffee? I think you can use any credit card or maybe PayPal. I don't know. I've never bought anything through that, but standard stuff, and I think you can do it anywhere in the world. I mean, it's not like some of the shopping places or certainly the Amazon links that I have. They're only good in this country. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think it's very straightforward to get set up on that. So I appreciate the thought, Marla. Obviously, you're thinking about buying me a coffee, and that would be very, very nice and greatly appreciated, although not necessary. Not necessary. Not necessary. When I get those things, I know they come from the heart and appreciation. I know there are people that are struggling financially, and I honestly do not want anything from you people other than good news that something you learned here actually helped you. Believe it or not, that's worth more to me than money. Unfortunately, that's not worth anything to the people to whom I pay my bills. What do you mean you want me to pay? I'm a good guy. People appreciate me. Yeah, pay the bill. Okay. So, but for me, I get the gratification that I feel from having people send me one of those, thank you, Mitch, you saved my life messages. Until you've experienced something like that, you can't describe what a feeling it gives you. You just can't describe it. Imagine it. Imagine it. It's really something. It's really something. Anyway, with that, my friends, with that, I am going to relight my cigar, play a little happy music, which evidently is on vacation. There it is. And on that note, say goodbye to everybody in the chat. Take a couple minutes. I'll watch it. I'll watch it here as I relight my cigar. Robbie Autry says your knowledge is much appreciated, Mitch. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that compliment. And once again, I ignored the cigar completely. Everybody saying goodbye. Stay warm, Terry Sue says. Tom and Tampa, have a great day, everyone. Bye, everyone. Have a great Sunday. Curry says, have a great Sunday, everybody. CB Carmack puts up a lot of steaks and bacon and piggies and coffee. Super, super. So, my friends, from Command Central, me, my coffee, and my coffee warmer, and my remaining chat up on the screen. We'll say goodbye. And I will see you tomorrow morning. And I think this music's about to end. Take the rest of the day off, my friends, and eat meat.